Just before today's video starts, we have a quick message from my sponsor, Elgato. If you're a content creator looking to record your gameplay at the highest quality, then look no further. The HD60S is one of the best capture cards on the market right now. I'm using it in this video, and you can check out my link below for more details. So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and welcome to your ultimate guide on how to unlock the Blackout PRIMIS Zombies characters. We're going to be breaking down exactly how to get each character's item, as well as tips and tricks on how you can easily unlock these characters in game. I really hope you guys find this guide useful, and in the pinned comment section you can find timestamps for each individual zombies character if you're looking for just that. But I advise you watch throughout, as I'm sure you're going to learn something which you didn't know before. If you leave this video finding this guide useful, a like rating would be appreciated before you leave, and let me know in the comment section what your favorite character is out of the four. But jumping straight in, we're going to start with the most difficult character of all four, which is Dr. Edward Richtofen. Now, in order to get Edward Richtofen, you must first be playing as one of the other PRIMIS zombies characters, so either Takeo, Dempsey, or Nikolai. At the time of me making this video, this is a necessary requirement, otherwise you can't unlock Richtofen's quest item. Treyarch may change this in the future, but if you're playing as a non-zombies character and this isn't working, then you know why. Richtofen's blood vials are acquired in the asylum area of the map, so make sure you drop here, and we're going to be needing a prerequisite before we can get the blood vials, and that is we need to pick up a zombies item that is related to the other characters. So I suggest when you land an asylum, head straight up the stairs and head towards the back of the asylum, and you'll notice in this room there is a typewriter on the table. You simply want to interact with it, and it's going to give you an option to pick up Takeo's letter. Now, this is the easiest and quickest item to get for this blood sacrifice that we're going to have to do, but this can also be done with Nikolai's hat, as well as Dempsey's Juggernog Bottle, and the other multiple letters from Takeo, which you can find in other locations with typewriters, which we'll get into later in the video. But for now, we're sticking with, you've got the letter from the asylum back room, you simply want to go up to the fountain, and you'll have a prompt that will say interact. So if you're on PlayStation or Xbox or PC, wherever your interact button is, simply press that, and you'll notice that you will have sacrificed the item you had, and instead blood vials will be waiting on the ground next to the fountain, which we'll pick up. And if we look in our invent, the character mission involves placing in the top 5 and finishing the match with the blood vials in the inventory. So if you're playing a solo game, you will have to get in the top 5 on solos. If you're playing a duos game, you need to get in the top 3 in duos, and if you're playing in squads, you need to place top 2 or essentially win the game. Now, for all of these zombies items that I'm mentioning, you can also get these from the Blightfather event, which is happening in the graveyard at the time of me making this video. As you're watching, the Blightfather event may have disappeared, but if it reappears at any point, you also have a chance of getting some of these zombies items directly from the Blightfather. Now, there is no real easy way to go about the placements in this, but I definitely recommend you play this in a duos game, because you have an extra partner to rely on, and getting top 3 in duos is a little less challenging than it is to place top 2 in squads. But nevertheless, this is easily the hardest out of the 4 just from the unlock requirements of those placements. Now, a great tip as well is if you're playing in duos or squads and you died whilst you had these items in your invent, but your teammates are still playing on, let them play on. If they can get that placement whilst you're spectating them, even though you're not alive in the game still technically counts you as having those items in your inventory. So as long as in the end your teammates can either carry you whilst you're spectating, as long as you make those placements, you should unlock the character once you go back to the main menu, and it's as simple as that. I was very fortunate enough to get Nikolai and Richtofen unlocked as well while playing a duos game with my friend Benny Central. So with a bit of persistence, a bit of luck with the flight path, so you have as minimal amount of teams dropping at Asylum as possible, you should be able to get this one easily. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use other zombie characters' items. If you're playing in duos, one player could drop in the graveyard and get Nikolai's item, run to the fountain and Asylum and get the blood vials that way. And on that note, let's talk about how how to unlock Nikolai in Blackout. Now, I'd rate Nikolai as a joint second hardest because it again requires a top placement, but it's a little more forgiving than Richtofen's. But we need to acquire the Russian tanker hat, and this can be inside the graveyard behind a locked mausoleum. So when you drop into the graveyard, every time you play, you'll notice that the Russian tanker hat will be here. Now, scattered around the graveyard will be an assortment of different zombies' weapons, and including symbol monkeys, which we are going to be needing to unlock the door and get us access to the Russian tanker hat. So scour around the graveyard, and if you can't find that, then there is Asylum nearby, which will also definitely have some zombie items. But with a monkey bomb, you simply want to throw a monkey bomb at the door, which will open, revealing the item for you to pick up. And if for whatever reason you don't want to go down this route, you can also get the Russian tanker hat to drop from the Blightfather event. But once you've got the Russian tanker hat in your inventory, the unlock requirements is to place top 3 in squads, top 5 in duos, and top 10 in solos with the Russian tanker hat in your inventory. So very similar territory to the Richtofen unlock process. You just want to be playing this game very, very cautiously. I would advise you to play the slow game, just playing around the zone, because you do need to get that top placement. For either character, that is the playstyle method that I would recommend. It's not always the most fun to play, it's definitely annoying to come up against, but it is the only way to really safely secure your placement. Just make sure you have good weapons, you've got tons of perks, so you're keeping your eyes and ears very open so that you can make these placements. But once you have completed them, you will have unlocked Nikolai for you to play as in Blackout. So let's jump into Corporal Tank Dempsey, which is a rather fun and easy one. Now, in order to unlock Dempsey, we are going to need to find a Juggernog Bottle, which can be acquired in 3 different ways. The main way, and where you'll always find it, is going to be inside the Nuketown Bunker in the diner section of the bunker. It's going to be situated on this shelf right here. You just want to pick it up, and if we look at our invent, it says the unlock requirements is to kill an enemy with any grenade. So this can be literally any grenade that counts as a grenade, and very luckily there was another team nearby who were also trying to get their hands on this Juggernog Bottle, so I just threw a grenade at them and managed to kill them, and it counted right there and then. That was with a cluster grenade, but literally any form of grenade works. Once you successfully killed an enemy with a grenade, you can check your invent just to make sure that it is ticked. All you need to do is finish the match with the Juggernog Bottle in your inventory, so it doesn't matter if you win the game, just at any point when you get killed, you will have successfully completed this challenge as long as you've not dropped the Juggernog Bottle and it's still in your inventory. Nice and easy. Definitely the easiest character to get in my opinion. And last but by no means least, we are going to unlock Takeo Masaki. Now, in order to acquire this character, we're going to need to pick up the Letter to the Emperor mission item. You've probably already seen it a few times in this guide, and that's because there is a lot of places that you can get this. Now, to acquire the letter from the Emperor, you are going to have to decide of one of 3 different locations. In specific zombies areas, there is going to be a typewriter, which if you interact with it, it is going to produce the letter to the Emperor. One location for this can be in the top floor of the lighthouse. There is going to be a room where you'll find 2 tables. One will have a book on it and the other one will have the typewriter. Simply hold your interaction button and the letter to the Emperor will be revealed. Simply pick that up and you can move on to the unlock requirements. The next location is in the asylum, like we showed you at the beginning of the video, to unlock Richtofen. It's going to be in this back room here behind where the original power switch is inside of asylum, and again interact with the typewriter and you're going to have that letter appear. And the final location is going to be in the boxing gym, which is just past Rivertown. Simply make your way up the stairs and interact with the typewriter on this table in the corner and you will have the letter from the Emperor. Now, if those locations weren't enough, then you can also get the letter from the Blightfather. Once you've picked this letter up, we can begin with the unlock requirements, and there are 2 steps in order to get Takeo. The first is to not use any equipment in your game whatsoever. Once you've picked this letter up, it is absolutely adamant that you do not use any equipment. This means you cannot use any grenades, you can't use barricades, you can't use sensor darts. Anything that involves actual equipment use is forbidden, so drop it by all means and don't pick any up. If at any point you use an equipment, you will have failed at this challenge and you will have to restart in a brand new game. Now the tricky part comes with another placement requirement, which is to place top 3 in squads, top 8 in duos, or top 15 in solos with the letter to the Emperor in your inventory. Now I definitely recommend duos for this one, as top 8 isn't too difficult, and also if you have a friend that hasn't got the letter, that gives you an extra player that can use all the equipment in the world. Stuff like sensor darts, for instance, which can be extremely useful for helping you to get that placement. In the game of duos, for instance, getting in top 8 means there has to be about 15 players left in the game before you're guaranteed that top 8 position. Top 3 in squads, if there's less than 12, you're probably good to go. And once you've either won the game or died, you will have unlocked Takeo Misaki, and that is all 4 of the PRIMIS characters unlocked inside of Blackout. Now some cool trivia and facts when it comes to these characters and their uses. If you completed any of the Halloween callings in Black Ops 4 Zombies, you can apply those face paints directly onto your zombies characters, which is awesome. You can of course apply emotes to them like you can any other character, and the taunts and gestures in game does produce some awesome quotes from all of the characters, and depending on who you're running, you can actually have conversations between certain characters.
Good to see you, Nick, especially without a gaggle of screaming meat sacks to ruin our day.
It has been ages since I shoot someone that shoots back, Dempsey. I am not sure I miss it.
And at some points when you're picking up these character mission items, you can also get quotes related to the character's item, which is very cool. One standout is definitely hearing Takeo read the letter to the Emperor, which, if you didn't realize, this letter is identical to the letter which is found in Zetsubo no Shima in Black Ops 3 from various scraps of paper around the map, which when put together and decrypt the message in Japanese, reads exactly what Takeo is reading, which is very, very cool. But I appreciate you guys watching all the way through to the end if you're still hearing me yap on now. If you did enjoy this video, a like rating would be very much appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I have a ton of other Black Ops 4 videos in a huge playlist which you can find linked down below in the description or on your screen right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for another video